What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Never let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armory TV. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network, and welcome also to THFC Till I Die. We've got three wonderful guests. Two of them are Tottenham fans, lovely people. They just happen to support the wrong team, but that's fine. That's I love them to bits anyway. And we've got Gunnar King as well. We're going to start with Philip. How are you doing, Philip?
Yeah, good, Bobby. Yeah, glad to be on here. It's first time for me on an Arsenal fan show. It's going to be an experience.
Yeah, I promise we'll be gentle. We'll be very gentle.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's good to be here. I mean, rivalry aside, I mean, it's only a game when it comes down to it. Well, no,
exactly.
Not really, but anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. we'll move on to Gunnar King. How are you doing, Gunnar King?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, 2 shows in a day.
I know.
It's been a while, yeah. So back, back with a bang, So no, enjoying it. It's good.
And also
fight for the derby, man.
Yeah, exactly. And we've also got the wonderful Dermot. How are we doing, Dermot?
I'm feeling quite weird and dizzy being on an Arsenal channel. I just don't know if I'm coming or going. But no, thank you for having us on. And look, it's a pleasure and honor to be on here. So thank you so much. And I'm going to disagree with my co-host. It's not only a game, it's war. It means everything. North London is white, always will be white, never be red. So you can go back to South London where you belong.
We came from South London and we conquered North London and the rest of it.
No, what you did was you came from South London, you looked at North London, right? You thought, we're going to stay there for a while, right? And you haven't gone. You've overstayed your welcome. You're Woolwich, Arsenal. Go back to South London where you go, where you deserve to be.
I'm sorry, bro. It's too late to apologise now, man. We're North London's very much our home. London's very much our city. Most decorated club since 1931. Technically, the last time you won a league title was in '61. And the borough of Middlesex was where you resided. So you haven't actually won a league title as a North London club. So I don't know how North London could be white with that in mind.
We were the first side to win the FA Cup as a non-league. You've never done that. We were the first side to win in Europe. You've never done that. We were the first side to win a double. You've never done that.
Wait,
and,
what?
You always came behind us. You always came behind us.
We've done doubles. The last European trophy I was alive for, and you might have been the first to win an FA Cup, but you certainly wasn't the last. And since you won an FA Cup in '91, we've won 9, and you've only won 8 in your history.
Yeah, but we stopped you doing the double that year, though. No, to be fair.
Yeah. Come here. Can I just going to say
the worst game,
my
friend.
The worst game of my life as a Spurs fan was 1971 when you won the bloody double at our place. I will never ever get over that night.
We're very.
You've been alive when we've done
some
that
people remember
twice.
where they were. Like they remember where they were on 9/11 or when John F. Kennedy was shot. I remember where I was that night. I was sitting in the back of a car. I couldn't drive at the time, listening to the match on the radio. And my father nearly crashed the car when I thumped the window and Arsenal scored the winner. So that's my remember of that game in 1971. So. Oh, anyway, keep going.
I was only alive for when we did that the second time.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
You may have been a bit more successful than us, but we're the rock and roll club in White Hart.
I'm not denying it. They have.
No, we're not denying it, but we're just a better team altogether. But there you go, we'll leave it there.
I think, lads, between the end of 2016 and last season, we really had they really had the Indian sign on you. Okay, you got better than us last season. Fair dues, you were very good last season. Excellent. But I think, as you can see now, we're a different proposition now than we were last season. So this is what makes Sunday so interesting, really. It's going to be, as Dermot says, it's going to be war. And I can normally think, we're not going to go to Arsenal and get hammered. I don't think it's going to happen this time. I think I can see a very, very tight match on Sunday. And I wouldn't like to predict who's going to come out in the end of it.
You know it's going to happen, don't you, Philip? It's going to end bloody 0-0, be the most boring.
Probably the most boring match of the season. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably.
I don't see it happening personally.
Oh, dude.
Well, we'll see. Right, let's get into some comments because the comments are starting to build up. THFC till I die saying good evening, guys. Brenny in the house saying evening, gents, and to all in the chat. Tony Fulbrook saying good evening, Bobby, Gunner, and Spuddies. Okay, Dermot and Philip. Evening for Brenny, for everyone saying hello. Big up
when
to
are we having a return visit of this one on our side?
When we will do when it's at our place. We're actually going to have the return. I'm looking forward to that.
That seems fair. That seems fair.
Yeah, that's
only fair.
Mia, big up, guys. Mia too, Gunner King. Don't start your nonsense, man. Did you know Levy supports Arsenal? Says Tony.
For a while, we thought he did. All right.
Yeah, there is a rumor going around that he's thinking of buying Arsenal, so you might have him as your new chairman. So. Best of luck. He's the best chairman going. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to have to respectfully and humbly decline on that offer.
No more Kane penalties, says Brenny. Yes, that's very true. Evening to Tony. There were only 4 teams in the FA Cup when you won it.
Slightly more than that, I think. Now,
yeah, man, piping up, man. Mia, less of that, man. We'll get you ejected from the premises. Yeah.
Is it really going to be a war? It could be, but to be honest, I'm with Philip. It could just be a 0-0. It could just be 0-0. It wouldn't surprise me. Evening, guys. Let us smash Spuds this Sunday, says Clock Covering. Big up to you. Big up to all you. I'm not saying that. Scott Hyman. That's not happening. Moss is in the place saying Kroenke's a little too rich. Yeah, to be fair, they are rich. You'd have to spend an absolute fortune to get Arsenal. Right. So this will be done similar to the preview lounge. I did say to Dermot, I'm trying to keep it structured the best I possibly can. But I've got 2 Tottenham fans and I've got Gunner King. This may not go according to plan, but I'm going to try my best. Right, I'm going to go with the first question. It is an important question. And this is mainly just towards Philip and Dermot. What happened in EastEnders and Emmerdale this week? Anybody know?
We wouldn't be able to say, Steve, on the account of watching our team from PSV in the Champions League.
I think in EastEnders, the EastEnders showed the picture of the Emirates or the Etihad, the Emirates Stadium, but there was a floodlight failure during the game. I think that's what was on the EastEnders. And Emmerdale, they support Leeds, so they don't count.
EastEnders, there was some of the pubs saying doing this because it's called the library, and I don't watch Emmerdale Farm. They're a bunch of farmers, so Philip is right to support Leeds. And who cares for Leeds? No one.
Right, but serious question now. What did you make of Tottenham's transfer window in the summer? Because obviously Kane left, Ange came in. We'll talk about Ange more specifically next, but I just want to see what you thought of your transfer window. Were you happy with it, with Kane leaving and who you brought in? I will start with you first, Philip.
Yeah, I was. I mean, it started early. We got players in quite early on in the transfer window, which is against Tottenham's religion, really. We normally leave it till 5 to 11 on the last day before we sign somebody. So at least we got some players in. Now, I think I'd class it at maybe a 7.5 out of 10 window. We just needed another centre back because they're a little bit lightweight in the covering of the centre backs. If Van de Ven and Romero get injured, then we've only got Eric Dyer and Ben Davis and the likes of that to fall back on, which is not great. Okay, we've got a couple of lads coming through the young. A guy called Ashley Phillips is very good, and a guy called Dorrington in the under-21s is good. But we left a little bit lightweight there. I think the signing of the season for us has got to be James Maddison in the middle. I know you paid 105 million for Rice, and he's a different type of player. But you've got to admit, 40 million for Maddison was a steal, absolute steal. And
especially when you consider Winks went in the other direction for 10 million as well.
It was a net 30 million. A net 30 million. So that's
30 million and Winks basically.
Yeah, and the fact that we've got the new players, they're not new players, but they're new to us this season. Papa Sarr and Ndoje, they've come in like a breath of fresh air as well. So it's that combined with the new management style, the new clean sweep, if you like, of the way the club is run. I'd be happy with that with the transfer window, and I think the only drawback is that we're not in Europe to highlight the improvements that have been made, and I put that down purely to absolute crap team selection and appliance in a couple of games at the end of last season. We lost at home to Brentford, and we lost at a 3-1 lead at Southampton. We should have got that 1 point cost us Europe. And I find that very hard to take still, but onwards and upwards.
Wouldn't you think that's a blessing in disguise, though? Because to be honest, I mean, obviously taking a bow in the Carabao Cup to Fulham as well, so you're only in 2 competitions. And
one really.
Yeah, well, so yeah,
Dermot might disagree with me there, but anyway,
might work to your advantage. It
might. But listen, we've been in Europe every season for the last God knows how many. It does stick in the throat a bit when you see the likes of Brighton and Villa getting in and we don't. That is, hard to take. But it's a one-season wonder. We'll be back next season, wherever we finish.
Okay. What about you, Dermot? What did you think of your transfer window?
Look, it was an interesting one, especially with Harry Kane, the saga. I think that mask over what a good window it was, that just went on and on and on. I mostly what Philip said, I agree with. Look, James Maddison for me is the signing of the summer. I'm surprised not many other clubs went in for him, and I'm glad he's at our club. Basuma for me, he's been like a new signing. Papa Sarr, Destiny's coming back off his loan. He's been brilliant. Porro on the other side, he's been brilliant as well this season. Mickey Van de Ven, what a signing. He's settled in. And we seem to have that partnership now with him and Romero, a bit like Toby and Jan. And I think we've got a solid defence and Vicario. Philip reminds me that Vicario saves with his feet, a bit like how the great Pat Jennings did in the day. A great man who played for both clubs, by the way, and was well respected by both sets of fans. Pat Jennings was. But no, it was a good window. And I really do think Paratici needs to have some credit here because he was consulting on it. Levy needs a bit of credit here because I think for the first time he's back to manager. And also Postecoglou needs a lot of credit here for bring in the players we needed. Yeah, we need more. We need another centre back. We need we need a striker. We need a 10 or 15 goal striker. But that will come in January. But overall, I give it 8 out of 10. I was really impressed by what we did. And we showed once we can do things right, we've done it right for the first time. As Philip said, it went against our how we normally do things. It is 5 to 11 in the evening. Harry Redknapp at the car with the window rolled down, sticking his head out. No business today, lads. But look, impressed and really happy, and long may it continue.
Brilliant stuff. So I always like to get an idea of how you feel about transfer window, because obviously you could listen to Sky Sports and all the Tottenham fans are really happy, but I'd rather get 2 proper Tottenham fans.
Can I just say, Bobby, don't get Philip started on TalkSport or Sky Sports. He just goes on a half an hour rant about the pair of them.
Yeah.
We'll do a separate stream on that, Philip.
I just love Paul. I just love it when Paul Merson comes on.
Tony saying here, I think Kane leaving you because you didn't win trophies is not nice. You won the Audi Cup.
Yeah, right.
You never won the Audi Cup, so there you go. It's one more trophy we've won and you haven't.
We'll never sing that, bro. We'll never sing that.
Clock Orange saying, was it not Lidl Cup they won?
Probably won that as well, but we probably got
That
that
was
in
the
the movie
Aldi
prize.
Cup, not the Audi Cup. It was the Aldi Cup.
Yeah, Brenny's saying there, Aldi Cup. I thought they won the Lynx Cup. Dermot, can you take that shirt down? I suffer from depression, and that's not helping in my recovery.
How can I say this without coming across rude? No.
We'll talk about our preview tomorrow, Moss, will happen tomorrow when we talk about lineups. So we'll be talking about lineups more tomorrow. This is more to do with how Philip and Dermot are feeling about Tottenham, and Gunner King is here to protect me from the two Tottenham fans.
We're dangerous. We get going. You know, we really are
I'll be
dangerous.
expecting my check after the show, Bobby.
No, Tony, the sponsor on that shirt is Arsenal is awesome. Yeah. Very good, Tony.
Actually, to say, I got my hair cut this morning, right? And the barber I go to, there's two of them, right? And one of them is an Arsenal fan. He knew I was coming in today this morning, so he wore his Arsenal shirt in the as you can imagine, there was quite a bit of banter, you know.
Yeah, I love that. Weren't Spuds unbeaten when they played us at the Emirates last year? Yes, they were. That's all I'm saying on that.
Until they weren't. I just thought
exactly.
Big up at the end of this one.
Big up to Tequila 316. Hiya, Scrappy Doo. I'm guessing you know what this means, Dermot, because I haven't got a clue who Scrappy Doo is.
Can I just quickly say, Mir is one of she runs a brilliant channel, Spurs Between the Lines.
Yeah.
Mia is very feisty, isn't she, Philip?
I've met Mia as well.
Just a bit. Yeah. Just a bit.
She's a heart of gold. She is a diamond. She really is. But everyone calls her Scrappy Doo. And that's a nickname that's probably stuck with her, but big up Mia.
Don't cross her. Don't cross her. That's all I can say. Don't cross her.
I've met her in the Football Terrace studios. With Terry, because she goes there quite a lot. So,
she has put here, let me at them. So she's
the only thing that lets her down as a person is the team she supports. Other than that, you know.
Tony Fulbrook saying here there's been better signings in the job centre. Are we
talking about the Arsenal transfer window now, are we?
No, we're not talking about us. Moss said that he told Dermot Mickey van der Ven has made defence work. Dogie being good, but can he handle world-class Saka? That's Moss's words, not mine. We also won the Tiger Cup. Don't think, did you? Yeah. You won a thing called the Tiger Cup.
We won it.
That was
that's in Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore.
Oh, well done.
Won it twice. So we're the only English team to win it twice. So.
Are you the only English team that enters it?
The only team ever entered it.
Mighty Tiger Cup champion.
I'll have to do my research, but I think so. Dermot, shut up.
Didn't they share a trophy with Leighton Orient? Says Tony.
Yeah, there was some. Yeah, I heard that. All right. Yes.
What can Connor?
Forget which one it was now.
What he is.
The London Counties Cup or something. I don't know.
Right, I don't know what's going on in this chat box today. Is that 5? How many trophies you won in your history, Dermot?
No, we won quite a few. Look, as I said, look, we even when Arsenal were in nappies, we were winning trophies. Okay, but grant you've won a few since recent years. To be fair, but you've
49 to be exact.
Well, you're just still one short of the big time, aren't you? As I always say, Tottenham are the rock and roll club. We're the rebel club, and you lot should be in South London. So we're working on getting you evicted. And the bailiffs will be at your stadium door in the next couple of hours.
Check you paid the poll tax, lads. Check
the
poll tax.
Now, Orient said, get your own trophy, says Brenny. I thought it was the Winnie the Pooh Cup. Right, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what have you made of Angie's start to his Tottenham tenure? And I will be honest, I was very pleased by Anger's football when I was watching Celtic last season. So I was like, okay, when you've got him, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But what have you made of his
fans in Scotland, aren't we? Because Yeah, you support Celtic, don't you, as well?
Oh yeah,
I
we
support
do.
Rangers.
Yeah,
I support Rangers.
Support Rangers,
well,
yeah.
I'm a
we're
Celtic
Celtic
fan,
fans.
so
We're Celtic fans.
Yeah.
yeah.
So and for me saying that's hard for me to say how much I enjoyed watching Celtic play. It's hard for me to say, but honestly, I loved watching Celtic play. It was so good.
Yeah.
And so obviously when you guys got him, I was like, oh, wow, that's an impressive appointment there because the style of football he plays. And he has done that with Tottenham. But what have you made of it so far? Have you been entertained by the football? I'll start with you, Dermot, first.
It's been a joy to watch. It's like we've got our club back. We've got our Tottenham back. I mean, for the last few years, we've been subjected to boring, rubbish, crap. You want to pull your teeth out, eyeballs out football. Where now we've got our Spurs back, and it's been a breath of fresh air. We've got a manager who understands us. Look, I'm a massive Celtic fan as well, so I knew what we were getting. So even my partner, she watched the Celtic Cup final last year, and when I said he was going to Tottenham, she turned around to me. She says, "Right, I'm going to start watching more of Tottenham now." Because it's the football. It's such a joy to watch, and it showed on Saturday. We did outplay and batter Sheffield United, and we just kept at it, and that's the Ange type of football, and that's what we want to see. We've played that all through the years at Tottenham. We've always been that free-flowing, attacking, Aussie idealist.
Lots of defence.
Yeah, just sort of defence and score more goals than you. But it's great to see, and compared to what we have been put through the last 4 years, it's a breath of fresh air. And he is the boss. Long live King Ange. May long reign at White Hart Lane.
I got an email from a mate of mine in Scotland. He's a massive Celtic fan, and he says, "Gutted, he's leaving, but you boys are in for a thrill." That's what he said, and he's been right. Now, I went over to see the last pre-season friendly against Shakhtar Donetsk that we won 5-1. Harry Kane scoring his last 4 goals for us, but that was only a friendly game. But I'll tell you one thing: Shakhtar Donetsk came off that pitch saying that was no friendly. That was Ange's first game at the stadium, right? And he wanted to prove a point, and he did. Yeah. And I thought, well, hang on, we'll keep this going for the rest of the season, or the rest of this, for a while anyway. And it's just got better and better. And Dermot will say to you, well, I'm sure back me up on this one. We both went over last March, was it, to the AC Milan Champions League second leg game, the last 16. We were 1-0 down from the first
I get
leg.
twitches when Philip mentions that game. I just get nightmares flooding back. It was just
two of us. I don't, something. If you'd have told us that 20-10 that night at the end of that game, he says Tottenham Hotspur no longer exist. I said, right, I couldn't give a shit. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
we were at a low point. Okay, what's his name? Sacked shortly afterwards, Conte. But that to me was the low point, apart from 1971, obviously, that I've had in my Spurs career. And to see what they're doing now is really a breath of fresh air. He's been an absolute revelation. And there's a guy in one of our other chats. He's an Aussie from Australia. He was banging on to get Postecoglou from the very start. Whenever the likes of Sloss was been mentioned and Nagelsmann and stuff like that. He said, no, never mind them, boy. Get Ange Postecoglou. Just see what he can do. Now, here's what he's doing. So that's what makes Sunday so interesting. It's going to be the new Spurs, not the old Spurs, against the old enemy. So we'll just see what happens.
Just one thing on that, what Philip says about the AC Milan game. I think it was my lowest point as being a Spurs fan. I sat in the south stand afterwards, and I thought, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Now we had to do content like on our channel, and we just found it hard, didn't we, Philip? We just found we had no energy, but we just kept going, and it was like, can the season end now?
Well, we all went back there's a gang of us went back. We were staying in a hotel at Stansted Airport to come home the next morning. It was like a wake back in the bar in the hotel at 11:30 that night. Everyone's sitting around with a drink in front of them, but nobody was talking. It was that bad. That's how bad it was. Yeah. And now look at us. I know it's only 5 games in, but you just cannot compare the way we are now as we were then.
There is a funny story to that game. Do you want to tell it, Philip, who we met up with? We were in the Spurs shop.
Oh, yeah. This is funny. We were doing a few sound bites for the channel, and we came across this pair wearing the AC Milan shirts, scarves. And Dermot says, do you speak English? Oh, yeah. Looked at them. Where are you from? were from Westport in Ireland. There were two people from the west, the most westerly point in Ireland, nearly. AC Milan fans all their life. Used to live in Milan and came to the AC Milan game. And they were suspected to be talking, do you speak any English? These guys talking away. He couldn't make it up.
I love that.
But to pick all the AC Milan fans that were there, and we picked them,
Yeah.
Well, let's get through some more comments before we get the next question. You did have the best forward ever, Jimmy Greaves.
I'll give you that. 2 years dead yesterday. 2 years dead on Wednesday, on Tuesday. There.
I would totally agree with that. Jimmy Greaves.
I used to watch clips of him as well.
I had the privilege of seeing him play when I was a kid. Brilliant.
Yeah. Arsenal were North London before Middlesex is Tottenham.
I actually dispute that. That's not. We were actually formed under a lamppost within 50 yards of White Hart Lane is now. That's where we were formed. You were formed somewhere across the river in South London. You decided, right, you looked across London. You thought West London, nah. East London, nah, we don't want to be near them West Ham fellas.
Anyway.
No. And you looked at North London, you saw how good Tottenham were doing, and you thought, do you know what? We're going to try and muscle in there. But no, we were the proper North London club. You're adopted.
We succeeded. We didn't try to muscle in. We succeeded.
What did
you saw, we conquered. Venise, the city, Versailles, I believe.
It took you to Arsene Wenger to come for you to be successful.
Wait, what? Herbert Chapman. You don't know who Herbert Chapman is? George Graham.
Herbert Chapman was the he was in the 30s. He was the bank manager from Leyton Orient. And that's for George Graham.
5 titles in the decades of the 30s, including 2 at Stamford Bridge and 3-1 in a row.
Yeah, you probably bribed them like the way you bribed your way into the first division in 1919. By the way, that was
you lot haven't forgotten, have you?
I saw Philip reading that the other day on the channel. They were going through the actual history of what happened with Arsenal.
It was a bit suspect now, lads. Come on, you have to admit.
Yeah,
finishing sixth and got promoted. When's that ever happened before?
Can I just say it was like he was that fella. That fellow who did that vote was the reincarnation of Boris Johnson or Donald Trump. He was going around bribing everyone, right? And the poor Spurs chairman didn't have a clue what was happening. He was down the pub having a few pints with Everton and West Ham or whatever in the league. Don't worry, lads. Don't worry. You'll get in. And there's this Donald Trump type person walking around bribing everyone. Don't know who he's bribing them with. Probably free sandwiches or something. But yeah, we won't forget that. When there's a re-election, we'll get our own back.
Fair enough. Tequila 316 saying compared to our last 3 managers, it's nice in a day we actually try to pass forward now. Tony saying you got your Spurs back last season. What are you talking about? You finished mid-table. Actually, think about it. Even that's an overachievement.
Can I go back to the season before last? When you bottled 4th place extremely big time against remember coming to our place and losing 3-0?
Yeah.
And then losing to Newcastle the following weekend?
That's the last London derby we've lost. We won. We played another 14 London derbies. We haven't lost one. We've drawn 3.
2 against us.
And won 11.
Now,
So,
I would like to
doing the double over you last season.
Yeah,
hey.
I would just yeah. I'm not doing that.
I want to present you with a trophy for that season. Here's your bottle. I will send it to you via the post, and that's your trophy for bottling it. So
we don't need to be presented trophies by Tottenham fans. Thank you. I mean, we've got more than enough. You guys need them more than we do, man. So.
I am going to admit something now. And Philip noticed I spent 3 years working on your stadium.
Yeah, I was listening to this the other day actually.
And in the middle of that pitch, there's a Tottenham time capsule in the middle of that, under that centre circle.
Right, I'm going to find it.
Yeah, and also I worked on demolishing Highbury, and I was selling all the tiles from the change rooms to all your Arsenal fans. I made a fortune out of you, so thank you very much for making me a little bit rich for that weekend. That was my drinking money, so fair play to you, lad.
Jeez. Well, We probably owe you something, you know.
Yeah.
But Bargav's saying here Tottenham games are definitely end to end. They normally are. But Sunday is a different level. We're gonna slice you apart, says Bargav, really laughing out loud. How long, boys, before your fan base want him out? I don't think
Never.
Not this
to be
time, I
honest.
don't think.
No.
AC Milan was my high point, says Tony.
I think Bayern
Honestly.
Munich was my high point to get for you guys.
Yeah, I knew you. Yeah, to be fair, we're easy targets for that one.
I'm like Bobby, you know, like I'm partial to different clubs in different countries, and hand on my heart, Bobby's heard me say this. Celtic are my club in Scotland.
Yeah.
AC Milan, they're my club in Italy. George
They're my
Weah,
club.
because of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
African heritage.
Exactly the same reason as me. Got a king
He
is
made
George
me a
Weah.
massive AC Milan fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Of
one
course,
thing:
Serie
the
A
fans
was
are
one of the
something
best
else.
league then. When I was a child.
The
So
AC
yeah,
Milan fans are something else. I mean, there were thousands of them at the game. Some of them, the noise they made was incredible. Plus, added to the fact that the Spurs fans were so pissed off they hardly raised a cheer that night. You know.
Tottenham games feel like better's favourites. Games with the unpredictability. Yeah, true. Ben Kaufman saying Mia's in charge of chat. Oh Lord.
Come on, Ben.
The Queen's Armoury, mentioning obviously that our late Queen was a fan of the Arsenal. So spots come from a good time. Jeez. Oh dear me.
Can I just say I cannot confirm or deny that accusation, so we'll have to go and check our facts.
George won Spuds a trophy. Yeah, and to be fair, did Harry Redknapp ever win you a trophy?
No. Harry got us into the Champions League. I suppose that was probably his biggest achievement.
He got us to a semi-final, FA Cup semi-final.
He
got
to
a League Cup final.
No, that was managing Portsmouth at the time. Yeah. He never got us to a final. No, he didn't.
He did. He got us to the League Cup final. We lost to Man United on penalties.
That was 2015.
No, 2009.
2009. You're right. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, because he's an Arsenal
we keep
fan
losing
as well,
in finals
Harry.
on penalties. I keep forgetting.
I know.
Big up to Wayne Bonner saying good
Hi,
evening,
Wayne.
everyone. Again.
No, that's not how you say it. That's not how you say it, Bobby. You don't. Go on,
you
Philip.
Good evening, everyone.
Right, okay.
Again.
Same old Arsenal, always cheating, says Mia. AH 1919. That takes me back.
Yeah, he was
right?
only a young lad back in those days. He was only a young lad.
Wait, we had a season last season? Yes, unfortunately, Wayne Bonner, you definitely had a season last season.
Yeah.
You can't delete seasons from your memory. I wish you could, because sometimes I definitely do. As an Arsenal fan, I wish I could delete some seasons. Philip, are you from Liverpool? Says Tony Fulbrook.
No. I lived in Birmingham for a few years. I never got rid of the accent. So, no, I'm Irish.
Oh, there you go. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Lovely chat. We made the bottle job you perfect. Oh, dearie me. Right, don't remember Leicester.
When we beat them 3-2. Yeah, when we beat them 3-2. And
I don't think he's talking about that one, Dermot. I think it's the season when we went up to Newcastle in second place and lost 5-1, and Arsenal nipped us for second. I think that's what it is.
I've forgotten that season. That's been deleted from my memory.
I'll tell you that. How I remember that game was I met my now son-in-law for the very first time that day. And he took us out to lunch. And I had the phone beside me on the table following the game. And my appetite was decreasing with every time the thing kept being beeped. By the time it was 5-1, I wasn't eating anything. So that was it.
Our lamppost is London desperation, says Tony. In fact, Tottenham have won more in Europe than Arsenal. That's a terrible return. Over 20 years in the Champions League, one final lost. I heard a rumour that Arsenal were invested in a bottle-making company. Oh dear. There is also plenty of landmines as well as they did not go off as planned. Still time though. I can't keep a straight face with that. Sorry.
Wow. Dermot was the line when he said it was war, right? Like,
yeah. Jeez. Well, if Dermo would have done his job right in the first place, right? Okay, I don't know what that's about. Great show. Hit the likes. Thank you very much, Tony. Yeah, please do hit the likes on all three channels if you can. It'd be wonderful. My oldest son never seen Arsenal in the Champions League final, and he is 15 this year.
I wonder if they're handing out trophies for losing in finals. If they are, I'm sure I can get that sent to your son as well.
Don't forget, we showed you how to play the beautiful game as a long ago. It's 1951. You've been copying us ever since, says Colin Turner. Rightio. Think October the 8th is the first across the point. Oh, okay, he's talking about NFL. I remember that Champions League with Paul Gooner at work the next day. I remember when Spurs fans celebrated when we won a league game at White Hart Lane in 2004. That equaliser won us the title. Thanks, lads.
I don't think we were celebrating now. I don't think we were quite celebrating. I don't think that was even.
When was the last time Spurs won the title at White Hart Lane? We've done it twice since. Mia, Spud's never in a race or a title challenge or cup final, so don't even have the chance to be that dumb saying bottlers. The boss.
I think she's talking in jest, really, you know.
Yeah, Moss taking it to heart. Look, it's just football banter, Moss. Don't worry too much about it. Hi, lads. Hope you're well. What part of Ireland are you from, Philip?
Originally Belfast, but I'm living in the west of Ireland now.
Oh, there you go. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Colin Turner, and big up to DWTT. I thought we showed them how to play the beautiful game in 1901, says Wayne Bonner. Dermot Phillip is Sol Campbell still.
Never heard of him.
I had a feeling you might say that. Yeah.
Philip, who's this? What's his name, Philip? Can you pronounce it? Never heard of him. I know who he is. I know who he is.
The woman at White Hart Lane there.
No. He was the dustman that worked outside the Emirates Stadium.
That's it. Got
it. Right. We're going to try and work on a little bit of positive for Tottenham now. Right. So, what are Tottenham's strengths that could hurt Arsenal this Sunday?
Everything.
There's no banter beyond this. This is a proper serious question. So we'll start with you.
I think our attack. Could cause you problems. I think like the way Madison is pulling the strings there, and we're all hoping, like, you know, you're probably read about the problems Richarlison had there in Brazil there last week. To come back and score a goal like he did and make the winner on Saturday will give him a huge boost, and he owes us. And I think, what better game in the North London derby to really start showing what a player he is. But I think also we're going to hurt you out. We've got good wingers in Kulusevski and Solomon. And we also have the likes of Brian Hill to come in now. Okay, we've lost Ivan Perisic for the season, which is a huge blow because he was provider in chief from corners and stuff, but he's gone now. So that's a pity. So I think our attack could hurt you. Plus, our midfield is not going to be as porous as it usually is because Basuma and Sarr there formed a very good partnership. But the worry that I would have was getting by them guys. Our defense might be just a little bit suspect still. But, you know, like with Saka, somebody said, how will Adoje handle Saka? Be the biggest test he's had so far. That really will be a big test. And that'll be say a lot how good a player he is if he can keep your boy quiet, which I hope he does. But I think, like I said, I can't see either side really dominating this game. I think it's going to be nip and tuck. And there's going to be periods, both teams are going to be in the ascendancy. And I would not be a bit surprised if it was a 1-1 or a 0-0 draw, to be honest with you. You know, which in a way would suit both sides, really, because bragging rights are still there for both teams.
I suppose so. Dermot, what about you? What are the Tottenham strengths that could hurt Arsenal?
Ange Postecoglou, straight off the bat, he would have them wound up in the dressing room. He knows what derbies are like. He's managed in the biggest of them all, the old firm, so he will know. I think our midfield will hurt you. I think Basuma has been outstanding this season. Papa Sarr will as well. I'm disagreeing with Philip about our defence. I think Romero will stick in a few tackles and show you how it's done. So will Van der Ven. I think it's our midfield and defence. I think up front, look, Solomon and Decky have played well, but we haven't. It depends who's in the middle now. But Charleston could cause you some problems. He's got his goal in assist, so his confidence will be up. But I think Ange will be the biggest problem because he'll have them wound up in that dressing room, something chronic. And then Basuma, for me, Basuma's going to tear you midfield apart. You have not got a chance.
Basuma versus Rice, and that'd be very interesting.
Rice is going to be crying to his mammy after the game, going, "Mammy, look, put me to bed earlier. I've just been schooled by Basuma. I need to go home. I need to go and sit in my bedroom and cry." That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, Bobby, Basuma.
Bobby, do you remember when the Manx were saying the same thing until they weren't?
Yeah.
But that's none of my business, you know.
Right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next question, because it does obviously fit into the next one. So, what are your weaknesses that you think Arsenal could exploit? So, I'll start with you, Dermot.
It's very hard to pick a weakness, really, because we're so brilliant everywhere. I would say, I got to think now. Look, I think I can't think of a weakness. We're so much improved from last season. If you said to us this last season, I would have said Eric Dyer, Sanchez, the whole team. But this season, I can't really see a weakness. I think one weakness is if the game is still tight and we're not getting anywhere, we may get a bit impatient. I think that could be our biggest weakness, like we did against Sheffield United. Yeah. But I can't think of any weakness. I'm not trying to. This not being smart with the comment and anything. I just cannot find a weakness in this Tottenham side. We've got everything, so I can't. So I don't think so. I think impatience. I think if we're not getting our way, if it's not going our way, we may go a bit impatient. That's about it. But I think we're solid everywhere.
Okay. I think the only weaknesses we may have, now this has been purely, really, sensible about it. There's a lot of Spurs players making their debut in North London derbies, right? Okay, yeah. Easy enough to play one at your home ground because you've got the crowd behind you, like your guys have. But we've got the likes of Udogie, Sarr, Maddison, Solomon, anybody else, Porro. They've never played a North London derby away. So I think that could be the weakness, how they react to the atmosphere. Let's face it, it's going to be red hot atmosphere. And it's not going to be a pleasant atmosphere for the Spurs fans, except for one end of the ground. But that's the bit that could worry me a bit, how they react to the actual, pressure that they put under. Now, the same thing will happen when you lot come to our place. You've got players making their debut. So, it works both ways. So we'll see how it goes. But I think, as Dermot said, we've tightened up defensively a lot. That would just be a little bit worried still if Romero does one of what Romero is inclined to do, is be a bit rash. Yeah. He gets an early card early on. You can be sure that will be played on. And that could be a worry. But no, I think, as you said, this time last season, I could have named 10 players that were a weakness, but not now.
Yeah. Let's move on to some comments again. Sonny Campbell says Moss. For some reason, Tony's just put wind. I literally have no idea why. I don't know what that's to do with. Sol Campbell is not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Bit of Monty Python there, like that. Yeah. If cups matter, does that surely mean Leicester are bigger and better than you? Won FA Cup and Prem more recently than you, says Mia. Good try, Mia.
7 trophies. We have nearly, as I said, 49. So nice try. Nice try, Mia.
Wayne obviously saying these are your strengths: defence, midfield, forwards, and Ange. Are you comfortable with your goalkeeper?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, okay, you're obviously not, because you can't seem to decide which one you want to play.
No, we've got 2 world-class goalkeepers, so it's fine. We've got 2.
Well, your backup is you might have one. I don't know if you got 2. Our goalie came in and nobody thought, who the hell is this guy? But we wouldn't pay excessive money for Raya. Wouldn't pay the big money for him.
He would have gone to Tottenham now. He wants to win something.
No, he would have come to us and get off with the money. Yes, for
sorry,
sure.
That's
we only paid 3 million up front to loan him as well.
These guys got a lot of the time. They'll go where the biggest offer is, But,
see, Arsenal weren't showing them right. They loaned them in. They want to see what he's like. They're probably loaning him back now at the end of the season. Sorry, we don't want you. And as for Ramsdale, he owes us. We owe him one. What he did at our place last season.
7 saves, man of the match performance. I remember that very well.
That actually shows how bad you were, that your goalkeeper got man in the match.
Tony,
I seem to remember Odegaard's beautiful strike from outside the box, finding the bottom corner, and us just raining chance after chance down on your goal. I mean, you were lucky it was 2. To be honest, we felt a little sorry for you.
As I will admit, I've had problems with my memory and games like this. I just
we have selective amnesia, both of us. It's
yeah.
Tony Fulbrook saying Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. I'm going to guess that they are Tottenham's weaknesses. I think Tony's trying to be clever there. Tony, also, the other Tony, saying Tottenham and strength in the same sentence. Bobby, you bad man. Look, this is, I've always done this on preview lounges. I'm always fair to the opposition, and it just happens to be Tottenham this week. That's all. So yeah, we have Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer.
The only player in the Premiership whose name reflects his playing.
Apparently, he's been seen on the North 17 bus going down the Seven Sisters to Arsenal, asking Lego Head, as I call him. I can't find my little Lego man.
Yeah, I've seen it, and I've seen
yeah, it's I was going to get him to the Muhammad Ali. Come on, and this is a thriller, and I can't find him. Yeah, he was seen going down there, but apparently he's gone missing with the 3 mascots. So you're a mascot as well, so we don't know where he is at the moment. So well, who cares? It's Eric Dyer.
As long as he stays away, we don't mind.
Moonhead.
Oh dear. Right, the shaking in the boots now, says Tequila. Whatever you guys are drinking, I want some. I'm guessing he's on about you, Dermot there. Basuma over burnt Eddie David says mankind was saved when Liverpool won the Champions League in 2019, says Brenny.
We won't go there on dodgy penalty decisions either. But anyway, go on.
Tony saying, Ange laughing. Eric Dyer is up for transfer if Arsenal need a quality centre back.
Oh, he's great player. He's a great player. He really is.
I think that's another offer that we're going to humbly and respectfully decline as well.
I've heard breaking news
blame
that he's been snuck in the Tottenham kit bag, and he's going to be left outside your manager's door, and we're going to run away and say he doesn't. We don't.
Please give this young lad a home.
Yeah.
Nobody wants him. Nobody else wants him.
Tequila saying I like boiled rice. Tony saying big Aussie Angela is getting humbled.
I tell you one thing. Can I answer that question? Actually, that previous one you just put up there, he's going to get humbled.
Yeah, by Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. No disrespect to you, Bobby. I know you're a Rangers fan, right?
Yes.
But not even Rangers can humble him. He went up there and dominated Scotland.
He did,
like no one before. So if he can humble the biggest derby in the world, he's not going to get scared with the second biggest derby in the world, and he's going to go to Euroground. He's going to give Arteta a wedgie. He's going to nick his lunch money. He's going to nick his sweets, and he's going to run all the way back to White Hart Lane with 3 points and go and stick 2 fingers and go, "G'day, mate. We've won."
I'm pretty sure that every manager for Tottenham has said this about coming to play at the Emirates in the league since 2011. That's right, isn't it, Bobby? 2011. Yeah, that's the last time Tottenham have won a league game at the Emirates.
I'm actually going to correct you. I thought it was 2010.
2010.
Well, yeah, 2010. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, you went 2-0 up, and we're still. And the image of that game is Arsene Wenger chucking his bottle on the ground, and the bottle going one way and the lid going the other, which I found very funny at the end.
Tequila saying put some curry sauce on it, and I'm there. Rice will finish the game calling Basuma daddy. Oh dear me. I've now seen 2 sports with a great sense of humour. To be fair, they are really funny anyway. Not just because they support Tottenham, but they're just really nice guys. So that wasn't me having a dig. I just love. Honestly, I love watching those 2.
I love your laugh your man down there. It's so infectious. It really. You start laughing. I want to start laughing. It's really infectious.
Arsenal won against Brighton when Basuma was playing there, says Mia. Rice will finish the game of Uncle Ben.
Behave yourself, Tequila. Behave yourself.
He's asking about penalty takers. I'm going to guess it's probably Madison or Son, something like that.
Son, I think. Son will take
yeah, me too, Wayne. I'm clipping the yeah. Tony will be clipping some of this, Dermot, just so you're fully aware.
I haven't said anything wrong anyway, so I'm all right.
Yeah, you're fine. You boys will be able to catch your trains early and beat the congestion.
There's probably no trains running on a Sunday in London. That's the usual thing, isn't it?
I mean, me and
repairs.
As me and Philip are both in Ireland, there'll be a long bloody train ride. I know. I tell you that.
I was going to say, well, we'll do the rest of your fan base the same courtesy that Newcastle did when you went to St. James's Park last season.
Thanks.
We'll have them packing by 20, 30 minutes, just so they can beat the traffic. You know,
Arsenal, Newcastle, they're good. They was that the game where they bottled it, Philip? Newcastle, was it?
no, I
that's
was
that's
recalling the game
3-0,
where
yeah.
they
Yeah,
beat you 6-1, and you know they sent you packing after what was it, 5 goals in 20 minutes? Was it? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
selective amnesia's kicking in again, isn't it?
No. I remember that one. You couldn't forget that.
Again, we
Couldn't
cannot
forget that one.
confirm or deny that result. It didn't exist really.
Tony's saying here, I'm telling you, if you play Angela Ball, you're getting opened up like a jacket potato and getting mashed. Ange Ball will be your weakness. Mark my
I
words,
don't
says
think
Tony.
so. I don't think so.
Tequila 316. Arsenal will play the COVID card like they did before. Next time they got to come to our place. Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the one thing. The first game of the season is practically always at your place.
Yeah,
One of the quirks of the computer that's worked out the fixtures. I think
I'm telling you, bribery.
Is that random or is that actually like by
I
design?
don't know. Like, we went 9 seasons in a row playing the first match away from home there, not too long ago. So it just seems to be totally random. But some teams come out better than others,
It's a computer thing. I think it's a random generator computer. But it is weird.
Yeah,
the same guy that operates VAR operates the fixture computer.
No, it's actually one man. One man designs the whole fixture list, and he spends months doing it. And for some reason, it just seems to come out like this. He doesn't create it. He doesn't like just go, oh, it's going to be Arsenal Tottenham first. It is random, but he works in it.
No doubt.
Yeah,
is he an Arsenal fan?
No, he's not. No, he's not an Arsenal fan. I promise.
And it's not Donald Trump either.
Dermot, I'll private message you later, probably tomorrow, about who the guy is, and you can read it up about it. He's fascinating bloke. Your fan? He's on about something that happened with Wenger. I think we explored.
I just want to say that I do not agree what happened after the game. By the way, I was rarely against what happened to Ramsdale after the game. There was no need for it. There was no call for it.
Yeah.
And look, all banter aside, all joking aside, there is no room for that or racism or anything within this game. It's a derby. It's a football match at the end of the day. We should all respect each other. Like I respect the two Arsenal lads here. Like we get respect. It's only a football match at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a derby. We all love banter. We all love a laugh. But there is no room for any of that crap. We don't want it in our game. We don't want it in our club, either clubs. So if you want to do that, stay home and just go and watch it. Go and watch it in your back garden. We don't want you there.
I
think about it, lads. We could be living in Ukraine. Whole lifestyle destroyed.
Yeah,
we're so lucky to have what we have, really. And let's not spoil it with stupid racism and fighting with each other and everything on the pitch or off the pitch. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Shane Curtin saying, I think we exploit the no Harry Kane penalty.
Have to get one first.
Tony saying, I could win the league with Celtic. I'll take offence to that because I'm a Rangers fan.
No.
I'll take offence to that personally.
Rangers used to win it years in a row, and then Celtic took over and they did it years in a row. But isn't it ironic, though, that no other team has won the league in Scotland since Alex Ferguson in 1986?
It's mad,
in Aberdeen. So it shows you how the domination down there,
And he nearly went to
He won 5 trophies as well in 2 seasons, and he became the 8th Celtic manager to do a treble as well. Postecoglou.
Yeah.
This is the really annoying thing because from the Celtic side of me, if Postecoglou had gone anywhere else, I would have wanted him to succeed.
Yeah.
But then he went Tottenham.
So deep down, you still have a liking for him.
I hate him. I'm finding myself forcing myself to hate him and his style of playing his football because I've already seen it at Celtic. But I bloody can't.
There's something coming across here, Philip. I think they're both Spurs fans deep down, but they're not letting out the R. What do you reckon, Philip? I reckon they're closet Spurs fans myself.
Oh, no chance.
Who would have thought it?
They go to bed in their Tottenham pajamas and an I Love badge.
No way.
Must say here, I think Rangers in '90s won more. Rangers were very dominant when Walter Smith and Andy McCoy dominate. 100%. They were saying it was Son.
3 divisions then.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, Son is the penalty taker. Says Philip.
Madison.
Leo Darker could humble Rangers managing
That's
Celtic.
the Irish Prime Minister, by the way.
I had a feeling I recognised the name. I was like, I know his name, but I'm sure he's not a footballer. Right, okay, yeah.
He's
So,
definitely
okay.
not even a politician, never mind a footballer.
You were just about to beat me to that. I was about to say the same thing.
He does politician impressions.
You think Boris Johnson's bad? You want to try this fella?
Or any of these guys, you know, he doesn't do a very good job at it.
I mean, you as I said, you thought Boris Johnson was bad. This fella's 10 times worse.
Right.
I'll take a
Newcastle are
chicken.
wrecked. Newcastle are wrecked both of us, to be fair.
Yeah, that's
Says
true.
Tequila.
That's true.
Does this man have a second name of Clonke?
Stan
who's
Kroenke,
that?
isn't it? No.
Yeah, Stan Kroenke. I don't know which band we're talking about here. That's the problem. Oh, there we go. So yeah, they've Googled it. It's our place because you've got concert of Formula One.
Ah, yeah, but at least we're making extra money from our stadium. What are you guys doing? You know, when it's empty for
Winning
a week at a
games,
time.
that's what we're doing, yeah.
Beyonce had a bit of sense. Come to the best part of London. Doing a Formula One sort of bit of sense and come to the best side of London. Looked at your stadium, went. Do you know? Beyonce went to her husband Jay-Z. Went, what do you reckon of that club across there, Jay-Z? Well, I've heard they're like I've heard that it's like a library. They have to get. Hang on, I have to do this right now. I've been doing this all week now. I've got this down to a T. Hang on, let me get this right. This is the Arsenal fans on Sunday. Do you know? And there was no atmosphere there. And then she went, "We go to Tottenham, best stadium in the world."
Dermot, I heard that they heard you worked on the ground. That's what they want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, well, that is true as well. Yeah. There was a funny story about working on the Emirates Stadium. They had undercover police people there for the Spurs fans, so there couldn't be any anti-Arsenal stuff written on the wall. That is God honest true. They paid people to walk round and get people to sacrifice any Arsenal. I mean, I saw Arsene Wenger 3 times. I saw Thierry Henry 3 times. I mean, when you see Henry, I think he's the biggest cheater this side. I mean,
that's your Irish roots here. This is your Irish
games.
This
is the Irish thing.
Yeah.
Maradona was a genius compared to Henry. At least Maradona was a bit sneaky with it, but Henry, was as blatant as anything. But I've never been so starstruck. Seeing it was something I wouldn't expect. See Thierry Henry. You watch him on the telly and you think I don't know if you know that, lads. If you see footballers, you see them on the telly, but if you see them in person, there's a bit of that's your man. That's
Jesus. Dermot, don't tell me your knees went weak at the sight of an Arsenal player.
No, I threw tomatoes at him, and that's for an Arsenal Wenger. As for Arsenal,
I was going to say I've got a similar story with Gaza and Tony Adams as well. They were at a charity lunch together as well.
I actually met Tony Adams once. Actually, this was I think just after he retired. I met him, and I forget who there was a Chelsea player there and a Spurs player there. And I was talking to 3 of them for just more than 5 minutes. Went and got the Spurs player's autograph, of course. Tony Adams said to me, "Would you like mine?" I said, "No, thank you." But I tell you one thing, Tony Adams is actually a really nice bloke, actually.
Yeah.
Fair play for all the work he's done with his centre and everything like that. But to be fair, his story to come from where he was, and a bit like Gaza as well, from where they were to now, it's a great story. Tony Adams' book, I recommend it to anyone. But no, I'm not a closet Arsenal fan, Tony.
Did you ever hear the story of Gaza? This is slightly off topic, but it's very funny. When Gaza went to Rangers, Richard Goff, who played for Spurs, had gone up ahead to play for Rangers ahead, and he got a phone call from one of the Spurs team. Said, "Listen, watch out, Gaza. He's got a habit of doing certain things." He comes into the dressing room with a pair of scissors, and he cuts up the players' clothes. Just cuts through the shirts and the trousers. So Richard Goff, first day at Rangers, Gaza's in the dressing room. Richard Goff says, "Now, Gaza, I've heard about your antics down at Tottenham. You try it up here." He said, "I'll fucking kill you." And Gaza looks at him. He says, "No." He says, "I only cut up Gucci and Calvin Klein stuff, not Marks and Spencer's."
Jesus Christ.
I actually would like to ask you 2 a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Who is your greatest ever Arsenal player who you really wish you had now in your team?
Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah, I'd say.
For me, it's
Yeah.
got to be Thierry. Yeah, like it's gonna be it's gonna seem boring, like, but yeah, for me, Henry. I wish I'd been alive for like Liam Brady. Well, I love watching him back. He was class. Like,
Yeah.
And David Dean as well. Obviously, he's made the most appearances for us, but for me, Henry, like, that was my childhood. I was losing my hair as well when I was like 14, 15. And I also play in the same position as him as well, like as a striker or on both wings. And yeah, like for me, just Henry, just best player I've ever played for us.
We had a grudging admiration for him, but unfortunately, that France versus Ireland game, it disappeared very quickly.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony's saying here, I'm a Hearts fan. Couldn't care less about the Glasgow. I understand that hate.
Yeah,
Don't you
must
worry.
be very frustrating. Must be very frustrating.
Tequila saying we have a go-kart
Go-kart
track
track.
to you. Well, yeah, but we have loads of trophies. That's the difference. You have a go-kart track,
Now,
we have
I have
trophies.
actually heard there's some more breaking news. It's from a source of mine that you stole them trophies. They were nicked. So Tottenham Hotspur would like them trophies back, please.
Oh yeah.
And you've
But
been
your
given
trophy room's not big enough to fit them all in because you've not been used to having silverware in there. So I don't know. You'll have to build a bigger one first.
Yeah, well, we've got a few. We've got a few in there. I mean, as I said, the first non-league team to win an FA Cup, first team to do the double, first team to win in Europe, first team to win 2 European trophies. Anything else you can think of, Philip? You're the man of knowledge.
No, not really. No. We have to admit, in recent years, Arsenal got the Indian sign over us. But these things have a habit of being.
No, we don't, Philip. No, we don't.
Are you being delusional again? Are you being delusional again? It hurts me to say that, I have to say, but I'm always a great believer in saying as it is, and but all I will also say, what happened between 2016 and 2023 could not be too far away again, lads. So just don't get too cocky.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was finishing above us, but also winning less trophies in that time.
Yeah, the league positions mean a lot too. I mean, it's But anyway, we shall see what happens. There are 33 games to go in the season.
Yeah,
a lot can happen.
Exactly.
An awful lot can happen.
Ross saying about the Emirates atmosphere yesterday. Yes, the Champions League roar was massive, but the North London roar will be massive. It will be huge.
The Champions League roar was a play recorder you had over the PA. And for the North London roar, it would be the Spurs fans you'd be hearing. All the Arsenal fans will be sitting there with their books and glasses, and there will be somebody walk around all the stands. Be quiet.
I see. I see Liverpool came back to win tonight, 3-1.
Oh, have they? Oh,
and Villa got beat 3-2. So.
Oh dear.
Okay. How did Aberdeen? Because Aberdeen were drawing 1-1.
Aberdeen were drawing. Well, let's see how they got on. They're in the Europa League, aren't they?
Yeah, because they were drawing with Frankfurt, which, to be fair, is a hard place to go and get a result.
Oh, hang on. No, they must be in the conference, are they?
Oh, maybe in the conference then.
They lost 2-1.
It's a shame. Yeah. Not that's my team. It's just I'm just very proud that the Scottish team have done all right. To be fair, will you boys be singing North London Forever? At least you should hum it. Look, that is a beautiful song, Lewis Dunford. If you know,
can't say I know that one now.
If you know the reason behind the song, you'll understand how much it means. Yeah, yeah.
We'll have a lesson on Monday after the match, right?
I got to admit, Henry was some wicked player, says Mia. Totally agree, Mia. He was wicked.
Yeah, no, I have to admit, he was.
Hermit's a Arsenal closet fan, says Tony Fulbrook.
Tony, wash your mouth out with salt and water, man. Okay. I rather support. And this Philip, don't dish me for saying this. I'd rather support Rangers than Arsenal.
That's saying something.
And that's saying something.
Yes.
My love for Arsenal runs as deep as rarely my ex-wife. That's how much I hate Arsenal.
I mean, to return the favour, I would rather gouge my eyes out with a rusty teaspoon and not support a club than support Tottenham.
Yeah.
Is that going on YouTube?
Oh, dear. Big up
Will
to
you
Gary
be wearing the
Beck.
Tottenham shirt at that time, by the way?
No
Yeah,
chance.
it's like the guy who would. This guy died and went to heaven, and he was standing in front of St. Peter wearing a Spurs shirt, and he said, "St. Peter said, did you ever do anything brave in your life to allow me let you into heaven?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "I did." He said, "I went down the Emirates Stadium and I watched the match in the Arsenal end." He said, "When did you do that?" "About 20 seconds ago."
Right, Barry Beck saying yo Derm and Philip.
Big up, Gary.
Tony
Hi, Gary.
Philbrook is probably the question that you asked earlier, Dermot, about Bergkamp. For Moss, it's Bergkamp or Vieira. Mia in chat, hi, lovely. Bergkamp changed our club. Yeah, that's the reason for I don't normally get any players on my shirts, but Bergkamp I've actually got on my black and gold shirt because
That
that's
goal
how
he scored for Holland in the World Cup against Argentina.
Yeah.
That's probably the best goal I've ever seen in the World Cup, I have to say.
I absolutely love him. The empty trophy case. My heart lane. Vieira, Bergkamp, Henri, but would love to see Chippy. Did see him play? See Chippy?
Chippy's
Brady.
our mascot. He's
Chippy
the one
Brady.
that's said he
Brady.
has.
Now,
You
a Spurs fan has to tell an Arsenal fan who Chippy Brady is. Come on.
Oh, Chippy Brady, of course.
Yeah.
Brady, yeah.
Oh, Liam.
Liam Brady, yeah.
Well, I know him as Liam Brady. I don't know him as Chippy.
No,
I'm like,
he's
for me,
known
a
as
chippy is a chippy where you go and get a bag of chips. So I'm like, what the heck's
the way he
chippy?
used to pass the ball, they called him Chippy.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Thank you very much.
Any
You
more
always learn
Arsenal
something
history,
new.
I'll just give us a shout. I'll be able to tell you.
He did
I've
play
got
in
my
that.
Arsenal history book next to me, so don't worry about that.
Did he play in that game, Philip, when they won 1-0 in Stuttgart? Do you remember that game?
When they beat England?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, he got. I think he'd gone at that stage.
No, but we did beat England that day, didn't we? 1-0.
What you call him? That scored that goal.
Ray Houghton.
Ray Houghton. Yeah.
But we did beat England that day, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
You're trying to wind.
We'll try. We're not getting anywhere.
Does not even support England right now because there's a stupid
Can I just say,
charge.
it took you 33 years to beat us. It took you 33 years, I'll tell you. And then you beat us when we had a crap side with a crap manager.
Just as well you're not playing us at the moment. You have no problem beating us.
Stephen Kenny apparently he's applied to become an Arsenal coach, and Arsenal said no, thank you. We don't take donuts.
Right, Tony Fulbrook says breaking news: Spuds have changed their trophy cabinet. It's now a coffee table. Gary Beck's saying Southwest London, you are where you were born. It's unescapable. Southeast is now sorted that out. Frankfurt 2-1. They piped in with those sounds from the Champions League. We normally pipe in the Benny Hill music. Well, last year we did.
Actually, we did it until we got done for copyright. You know,
we did it 1 year when we beat you.
It can't have anything more ridiculous than my shows, and you're spoiling my image. You know,
we have Fred, don't we, Philip? Fred at the end of it. Fred, we have this fella, right? He runs through a glass window, cheering because whatever he scored. And at the end of every show, we have whatever Fred's up to today. The day we beat you 3-0, right, at White Hart Lane, to really knock you out of qualifying for anything serious like the Champions League, which took you years to get into, and you'd be out of it as quick as you're into it.
We're now, yeah?
Yeah, but you're going to be out of it by the end of December, so don't worry about it. You'll be back watching Coronation Street again. I've recorded them all for you, so you can watch it. You can block watch it. And we both said that night that was my Arteta running out after, running through the glass window because Tottenham are just the best side in North London. We always will be, and just you have to get used to it.
Right. Bart is a serious fan now. I know this guy is a Man United fan. Can Big Ange help Spurs register their first Premier League win at the Emirates in over a decade?
70 hours. We'll know.
Yeah, we will. No problem. 2-0, not a problem.
Odegaard has the potential to surpass Bergkamp if he continues to improve and spends a decade at Arsenal. Agree or disagree?
Slow starter, wasn't he? It was a slow starter for you. It took a while to get going.
That's a huge statement, though, man.
He's good now. Saying he's very good now, but didn't it take him
very
a while
good,
to get in? You know.
he's very good, but I mean, Bergkamp was
Yeah, against Bergkamp. I'm sorry, but that's
like it's too early to stay. You know, like
yeah,
I was having this discussion. I think he's the second best 8 in the league at the moment. Yes, he's better than Maddison, and behind KDB, but I think there's a big gap between him and KDB. But you know, you can close that. But Bergkamp.
yeah. I'm with you.
Bergkamp was in a different league, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Bergkamp is. Look, I think it's going to be a tough battle Sunday. The midfield, that's where it's going to be won and lost for me.
Yeah.
And if we can mark, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name properly. There's no disrespect. What's his name, Philip? Sorry.
Odegaard.
If we can mark him out of the game, I think we have more of a chance of beating you. If we don't mark him out of the game, then I think it could end up a draw.
He could hurt us. He could hurt us. You know?
He worries me. Out of all the Arsenal players, he worries me. But I
Gabriel
think
Jesus worries me as well because he normally scores against Spurs, no whoever he plays
does,
for. You know.
Yeah. Gary Bex is asking you guys a question. Did you see Dorrington, Phillips, and Donnelly versus Mike Colchester today? Because that is actually Mike Colchester, because that's where I'm from.
Can I ask a question? Was that the full Colchester team they played, or was it kind of was it their league team? Because if it was, Spurs give them a right hammering. Our under 21s.
I would have assumed it would be their full team.
5-0. Yeah, it could have been more.
Yeah.
Dorrington he's going to be a star. Phillips is 18-year-old, great boy from Blackburn. Jamie Donnelly is one for the future as well. And we also have a goalkeeper, Josh Keeley, who came over from St Patrick's Athletic here in Dublin. He's going to be a good one for the future too. So I don't know if you probably don't really realize it, but the Spurs are now building from the bottom. We're no longer going to be a club going out spending 100 million on a player. We're generically developing the academy, and it's coming off stuff. Our under 17s won the cup last year. The under 18s won it, and the under 21s are five wins out of 5 this season. So things are starting to change at Tottenham. It might take a while to come through, but watch this space.
Dorrington for me was outstanding the other night, and I think we've got probably one of the best. Our academy has started so well this season as well, which is more than what we could say over the last couple of seasons. It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Bart is a serious fan saying Arsenal should try to replace Nketiah with Evan Ferguson next summer, as he can be the long-term goal scorer that the club craves, and allow Jesus to play right wing from time to time and allow Saka a breather. I don't want Nketiah leaving right now. He's playing the best I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt for a long time. So I know Arsenal are going to sign a big striker next year, and I'm saying next year because it could be in January, but I don't think it's to sell Eddie. I'll be honest. I don't think it's anything to do with selling Eddie. And as for Jesus playing on the right wing from time to time, I think we've actually might have found Fabio that can. He did it last night and played it very comfortably. So, do you agree with that?
Nelson as well.
Yeah, Nelson
on the right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not in a rush to sell Nketiah because I think he's starting to develop quite nicely, and also he's part of the sort of core tenets, of kind of preserving our identity, because he does come from our academy. And I think Arsenal have, got that long-standing history. These guys are speaking about kind of building from the bottom up and kind of bolstering their academy ranks. And, me and Bobby, we've always spoken about this, players like Saka, players like Smith Rowe, the Nketiah, they're going to be the ones that are telling the players that come in what it means to be an Arsenal player. There's that famous story with Patrick Vieira, when he came in, where, he barely spoke any English, and like the academy players and I think it was Parla, the very first words they taught him in English was that Tottenham so this is the thing, I think we need to keep Nketiah for a bit. We're a big enough club, we generate enough revenue. I don't think we need to sell a striker to buy one per se. Back in the Champions League now, so the money's there. I just I don't know. I just want to keep hold of him for a bit. I mean, I think he started the season very well, and again, that was something I felt differently about 12 to 18 months ago. But I think now he's just starting to come into his own. So I think his all-round game needs to develop. But I think Jesus is the right player for him to be learning how to develop those parts of his game from. So, yeah I'd leave him there.
I agree. Are the Arsenal fans on the show enjoying Man United's decline? I'm going to say no because I don't like seeing any club and any fans in pain because it is painful for the United fans.
Well,
Be us next
Jim,
season.
might
I'm
disagree
going
with
to
me.
say the absolute opposite, bro. Like, I respect Man United as an institution, but again, my childhood days were spent, during the Sir Alex Ferguson and Wenger era, and they got quite a few over us in that time. Obviously, we held our own, like we did, win some silverware, but they made it very personal. So,
mind you, Roy Keane did kick Chase Vieira around Highbury and Old Trafford a few times. We all know what Roy Keane's like.
Yeah, he was a great player.
This one's a tough question. One Spurs player that you would begrudgingly take, I would take Son over Martinelli if both were on the same age. Not on your Nelly. Sorry, Martinelli is my left winger, and that's not happening for me. Gunnar King, I'll let you answer this.
Did he ever win the Golden Boot? Did he ever win the Golden Boot? No.
Martin, just for Philip, just so you know, Martinelli is my favourite player at Arsenal, so there's no way I'm swapping him out at all. He's my favourite player.
Philip, they probably don't know what Golden Boot is. They probably think it's something they win in a raffle.
Wait, what? I mean, the guy with the most Golden Boots in the Premier League era is who?
We're talking current players at the minute, lads. We're talking current players.
I would say Harry Kane, but you lot.
He was one short, I think. One short, yeah.
It was one short, yeah.
But what Tottenham player would you take from the team now?
Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm also a purist. They've got a few good players. I'll be honest, but I think depends. I mean, it would be if I was just picking based on quality, it would be Son. I've got a very big soft spot for Son. I like Son. I like he's very humble. He plays in my position because that is the left side of cutting inside was kind of what I do. So I've always really, really liked Son. He's been my favourite Tottenham player for a long time, basically, even when Kane's been there. That guy is a lethal finisher. And he's put us to the sword a few times with his finishing. But that being said, like Basuma, Udogie, I can't say his name right. Sorry.
Actually, they pronounce it Odogi. It's actually Odoji. I think Odoji.
Odoji.
Yeah. Udogie sounds like calling your dog come for a walk.
Yeah.
I think it probably would be. I do feel like we maybe should have got Maddison as well. I think Maddison.
Where would you play him? You already have that position.
Maddison and Odegaard with Rice would have been something, I think, to see. Because I mean, Maddison as well. He does work hard as well off the ball. He's got that quality on the ball, and got an eye for goal. Good passing range. So I think it will be between Maddison and Son, to be honest.
I'm going to actually go a bit left field. I'm going to go with Sarr. I think he's got the talent to be something special. I've enjoyed watching him play this season. He looks so special, and I know he signed him the summer before and then sent him back on loan. I think with him, and he looks so amazing. I was so impressed by him. I was like, wow, he's just everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, I like him. But Maddison, obviously we've been linked with him before. Gunnar King, and I'd probably take him as a second choice. But Sarr for me because he's young and he'd be perfectly fit into our team, I reckon. This is fun. Big up all four of the panel. To be fair, it is fun. Obviously, me and Dermot have spoken before because we're working together as well. Philip, first time, and Gunnar King. Obviously, I know him. anyway, he's part of the Armory family.
Me and Bobby had a meeting, didn't we, last Friday? Right?
I heard about that. I heard about that meeting.
It started with 5 minutes of talking about what we were going to do, channel wise, and then for the next 55 minutes, it was just me and Bobby taking the Mickey out of each other, and then us ganging up on Column, taking the Mickey out of Column, Man United, which was even more funnier. And then we got to, I think did we get talking about the Audi Cup or something? It was how it was so funny.
The funny thing is, what's coming this Sunday is me and Dermot are actually doing the watch along together. Arsenal, Tottenham, the North London, and Colm is joining us as well. So it's going to be hilarious. We've got an Arsenal, a Tottenham fan, and a United fan watching the North London derby. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere, but honestly, it's going to be great fun. Sorry, Odegaard, not a chance over Bergkamp. Yeah, look. It's not for us, not right now. It's way too early. Bergkamp was something else entirely. Bergkamp, no way. And that's even a Tottenham fan saying that. So big up to Tequila 316 saying that. Shut up, Spurs are the only North London club.
Can I, Gary? Of course, we're the only North London. I've been saying this all stream. They're like the Arsenal Football Club was like. Don't know how you describe them. They were shuffling around London, had nowhere to go. And I don't know what you say in this, Philip. I mean, what would you call them? They were like, how can I put it politely? They were on the streets, walking around, hands in the pocket, kicking the can down the road. And they just stumbled in drunk into North London. They took roots there. And then, of course, 1919, they started bribing everyone because, they had Boris Johnson back then doing the talking for him. Donald Trump as his right-hand man. And they've suddenly thought they woke up from there with a hangover, thought they were at North London Club, and they've never really recovered. So, Philip, shall we break them? Can you break them to it now, what they really are? Can you just break it to them? Gently as you can. I don't upset
I'd like to know
them.
the reason. Did the people of South London not want you, and that's why you had to move? Was there any reason why you were evicted from South London? I'm sure they've forgotten about it now. So you can go back nice and quietly.
Unfortunately, I do know the reason what happened to
South London was too small for us, and it was transport links as well, wasn't it?
I heard were too near you, were they?
I heard that you nicked the Gunners. Do you know the armory? It was in Woolwich. I heard that you nicked some stuff out of there during the bank robbery, and you legged it over to North London, and there was no extradition between North and South London. So apparently there is now. So you will be getting an extradition out of North London back into South London, and then we can actually then send in the exterminators just to clear up the trash that's been there for the last 100 years and just get rid of that stench.
You guys are haphazard at garnering any success that we could probably still rule North London from the south.
It's a bit like Dublin. I don't know if you lads ever been to Dublin, but there's north side of Dublin and the south side of Dublin. And the south siders reckon the north siders need a passport to come across the river onto the south side, So it's a bit like that, So
Philip, do you ever get that stench from that lot down the road in Tottenham? Do you ever get that funny smell?
I've got a problem with my sense of smell. It's not.
You're lucky.
I got a nerve cut a few years ago, so I couldn't really answer that question.
Do you know? You're lucky. I mean, it was. Oh, I don't know. Just we need the exterminators in. They need to push them back to where they belong. They're a bit like Delboy and Rodney and Grandad in a 3-wheeler van. You just can't get rid of them.
I always think of that episode with Uncle Albert's first episode on Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
When he says when he'd been leaving back up to North London, when he got there, his cousins had emigrated.
So that's what happened to Arsenal. We brought them back to South London. The uncles had emigrated. They emigrated, and there was like boomerang Arsenal. They were back again. I don't know.
Oh, lovely.
Anyway,
this show's going mental. Right, let's just try and get through some of these more comments. He is on pace to be close, but Bergkamp changed the club so much. Unusual take after a grand total of one Champions League match day. Is it fair to say that Arsenal have looked like one of the most impressive teams in the competition? Not for me. In spite of being out of it for 8 years, not for me. If I'm honest,
I didn't see any of the matches, so I can't really comment on that. I saw the United match last night. That was the only one.
Yeah. try and skip through some of them. I do apologise, but we have got a time limit, so I'm trying to get through it. The challenge, unfortunately, will not take place on this show. We just haven't got time. That's good. That takes
It's probably just as well, Bobby, because I can imagine some of the comments now will be just something
yeah,
else.
exactly.
Now,
yeah, so we're going to try and get through this because there's 2 more questions still to Archie yet. Odegaard is decent, but if he was special, he'd still be at Madrid, says Gary Becks.
I think he'll end up there in the end. Actually, he will.
I've said this. I think at some point he'll end up back around.
He'll end up at a decent club, not at the club.
No, I'm not saying it for that, but I just got this funny feeling that one day he might go back to Real Madrid. It might happen.
Yeah.
No, I think they burned that bridge. I think
they burned it?
Yeah, they burned it because they had him, and like he was there. He only made 3 Champions League appearances before he left there for Real Madrid. No, I don't think he goes back there. If he did leave, don't know. His family are massive, and he's actually a Liverpool fan. Yeah. Fun fact: his family are massive Liverpool fans.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if that would happen. Another Premier League club, but personally, I don't see him leaving. Genuinely, like if he hadn't been made captain, I'd think, if we don't win any silverware, which I don't see that happening. To be honest, I see him staying until very late on in his career. To be honest.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to quickly comment on this because I think we both will say there's only one club in London. We're going to say it's just Arsenal. They're going to say it's just Tottenham. There is no other club in London. So there was no dominance from other parts of London. So I'll move on from that comment, but good try.
You are right, Bobby. There is only one team in North London.
Yeah, well, I know you're going to say Tottenham and we're going to say Arsenal. So we'll just move quickly on from that. There is no West Ham.
Anfield Town. That's another
team. We haven't mentioned Chelsea at all yet. It's quite amazing.
Who?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, right,
exactly.
Yeah. I think that's the first time I think it's the first time we've agreed all night, actually.
Honestly, that's another club I've enjoyed watching.
Destroy
crumble.
Themselves. Yeah.
Pochettino will be gone by Christmas. He never lasts. He never lasts.
The rent sign will be put up South Stamford Bridge again. Would you like it was in the 80s?
Save the bridge again. Save the bridge part 2.
Guys, just to say, I'm skipping some over some messages. I do apologise. I'm just trying to get as many on-point ones that I'm trying to find. I would take Maddison over Havertz, says Bart. I know a lot of Arsenal fans probably would have, to be fair. So that's not Havertz, yeah. Our left back is better. Our right back is better. Our CDM is better. Maddison is better than Odegaard. Son is a legend, but Brennan Johnson wins the game, says Barry Becks. Yeah. To be fair, I think Brennan Johnson is a heck of a signing. I like him. I rate him very, very high.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson's good, but I'd say Zinchenko is better than Udogie. Ben White is better than Porro. What was the other ones? No way is Maddison better than Odegaard, and
Maddison is better, and CDM is better. So Basuma's better than Rice.
The only one I would give them is Son, personally.
Oh, you know what? I have to say, Gary, I agree with everything you said there. That is totally true. That is totally true. I mean, these Arsenal fans are a bit. You call me deluded, Philip. They're a bit deluded. They think they're better than they are. They're not.
Well, there was how many places between us last season?
As I said, we cannot confirm or deny what happened last season. It didn't happen. It was COVID.
What happened last season stays last season, right?
Yeah, the Premier League was suspended after January, and then after that, it just didn't happen.
Right, very quickly now, Dermot. What are your expectations for the season for you guys?
To win the quadruple? No, that can't happen. No. Okay. No, being serious. That was my expectation before the start of the season. Then we lost to Fulham. So look, I was thinking of the double. The finishing. I've said all season we're going to finish in the top 3.
Okay.
I've said it for the start of the season. Philip knows that. I've said we're gonna be we're in the title race, and we are fighting for the title.
Okay.
Is he all right down there? Are you okay? Is he all right? Is he okay?
Yes.
No, I'm talking
I'm just
about
waiting for your next word of wisdom.
I'm talking to your friend next to
Could
you.
Be waiting a while now. Could be waiting a while.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are us. We're going to win the FA Cup as well. I think our name's on it this year. And Arsenal just going to be obliterated, and somewhere down the league, we'll be doing this all season. Can we see you?
And then you're gonna wake up.
No. Look, I'm being deadly serious, and I'm hand on my heart. Philip knows how deluded I can get sometimes. I'm not being deluded. I think we are going to win the FA Cup this year. Our name's on it. I've just got this feeling we're going to win the FA Cup, and we are in the title race. I don't care what anyone says. You lot can laugh as much as you like.
Top 8 and a packet of quavers. That's what I predict for Tottenham.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But look, FA Cup for me, all seeing this, Bobby, and probably top 3 in the league.
All right, no worries. Philip, what about you, mate?
I was thinking before Ange came in, with the experience we had last season and kind of the doom and gloom over the club in the summer, early summer, I was going to say, right, if we finish in the top 6 or 7, we'd be doing well.
Yeah.
And possibly get a good run in the cup. But now I think we're Champions League places. Now, whether that's 4th or 5th now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely think we will. Now, I'm looking forward to next season. I can see us being a bigger challenge than we are this season. This is a betting-in season. There will be roadblocks. There will be bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to improve our league position significantly on last season, get into the Champions League, and then watch us go next season, because Ange took about 4 months to settle into Celtic. He's done it in 2 months at Tottenham, so he's ahead of the game. And I just think, and realistically, let's face it. I mean, Arsenal are going to be up there or thereabouts as well. Nobody's going to beat Man City. That's given. But after that, who comes 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I think is going to be the query. And don't kill me for saying this, but I do reckon Arsenal will be top 3.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Philip. Look, I think there's 4 or 5 teams in that race for the Champions League. Look, Tottenham and Arsenal will always be in there because there will be. I just think we have the edge on you this season for whatever reason. I think, look, you surprised everyone.
Midweek's free could be a big help.
Yeah. Everyone surprised us how well you did last season. I mean, you surprised yourselves. I mean, you got up there to Newcastle and you're thinking, come to us. We can win the league. No, you can't, because Big Brother's going to slap you down. And we did. We put you back in your place. We put you back in the box. We made Arteta cry. But I think, you're looking at probably Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool,
Man
City.
Who could nip in there too? Brighton could be a hugely surprising team this season.
Deserby is the top manager.
Yeah, he is. And look, Man United, for me, I don't think they're going to get anywhere. I think they'll be fine for the Conference League. And look, this is no disrespect to any Man United fans. It hurts me to see, as you said, an institution gonna go and being like it is. And me and Philip have talked about it on our channel that they're probably one of the biggest names in world football. As well as Tottenham and Arsenal as well. We're both big clubs, Tottenham and Arsenal. We're not going to disagree on that. I know we're not. But I just feel that it's going to be tip and tuck, but we're just going to beat you at the end. You've got to accept it. You've got to accept your medicine. We are a better club. We're going to finish above you. You're going to be crying into your tea in May. You'll be going to the pub, sitting in the pub, crying into your pipes, thinking, if only we had an Ange. Well, you can't have them. We got them. Tottenham Hotspur on the rise. Arsenal are going to be going downhill.
I am getting a sense of deja vu from last season, because it was around this time last season that we played as well. And I was hearing shouts, because Tottenham and Arsenal both had their best start to a Premier League season. Like, you guys were buzzing and we were hearing the title challenge talk, and then you came to the Emirates, and then Richarlison was crying. He got red carded. Partey banged it into the top corner. There was, and then your season after that, well, it fell apart. We might have come second, but that really was the turning point for your season. That was your first defeat, and then they started coming They started coming thick and fast.
We were unbeaten when we went to you this time last season, okay? But there was the rumblings that already started amongst the fan base at the style of football we were playing. And that became louder and louder as the season went on. I mean, Conte's football is not Tottenham football. It was just anti-football, really. You know,
This football
and it
isn't
came
football.
to as the season went on, it got worse and worse and worse. And we all know what happened there. You know, he seemed to think he was doing us a favor by managing us. And then Levy comes out yesterday, admits he made a mistake in hiring both Mourinho and Conte. So that says it all.
One thing about Ange, then Conte didn't get the North London derby. Ange gets the North. Arteta gets the North London derby. Conte didn't last season.
No.
Ange gets it. What the North London derby means, and I think this is where we might have the slight edge, and Ange will have them players fired up. You know, look. You've lost the battle before it's even started. So I'm going to say,
Like I said, 14 London derbies, 11 wins, 3 draws, no losses. The longest consecutive record of not losing in London derbies, I think, ever in top flight history.
Records are there to be broken, you know.
yeah.
They are, but not by Tottenham.
To dare, all I'm going to say is to dare is to do. Don't know what Arsenal motto is. It's to sit down and cry.
Victory through harmony, mate. That's what ours is. Victory through harmony.
Victoria, Concordia, Crescent.
They've gone onto them dodgy websites again, Philip. That's all they can do at Arsenal.
Right, score predictions, guys. We're going to start with you, Philip, first.
My heart tells me 2-0 to Spurs, but my head tells me 1 each.
Okay. I always do heart and head, so it's fine. I'll write them both down. What about you, Dermot?
My heart says we're going to totally tear you apart 4-0. And, no, my head tells me it would be a close 2-1 win.
To Tottenham, yeah?
Yep, to Tottenham. Who do you think, Bobby?
Well, sorry, it's because I'm used to always being Arsenal wins on this channel. Gunnar King, what about you, mate?
My heart tells me 5-0.
Right, okay.
And my head tells me 3-1. They might get a consolation goal, you know.
Did you wake up after a sweat after that nightmare?
Yeah, 3-1, I think. Yeah, I don't see them winning. Like, no disrespect. Like, look, to be fair and to be clear, you know, like, as much as I hate saying it, and I do hate saying it, I have been impressed with how quickly Ange's turned things around, how he seems to have instilled a philosophy, how he seems to have got the players playing for him. And there is similarities with the turning point. With Arteta, you could see when the fans were starting to get on board last season. The beginning of last season, we went into the season having, you know, dropped the ball, getting 4th place. So there were a lot of questions being asked. He won his first 9 games. So, like, he turned things around very quickly. And within those 9 games, people started to believe in him a lot more. And, you know, I think even before that, the season before, when top 4 was there, he had really kind of like turned the perception that the fans had of him around. And I'm starting to see that at Tottenham, where like the atmosphere looked very toxic. You know, like it did look very doom and gloom, fans arguing amongst each other, and you know, like people calling for Levy's head. And by the way, he's still an awful owner, but you are starting to see a lot of positivity come out from you guys now. So I respect that, like as a purist, like what I'm seeing, but I just think Arsenal are just a bit further on in that journey. Like we've, you know, sort of been, you know, on this journey now with Arteta for 4 years. The squad we've put together have been together that bit longer. And drilling these possession-based systems takes a lot of time, you know, like, and I think truth be told, our players are just so well drilled, so well coached within that system. I think that's what's going to be the difference on the day. But like I said, you know, like I've been impressed with what Tottenham are doing. I don't like saying it, and it is nice when your rival isn't a punching bag. You know, you know, and not be able to give you. It will be a good game, Like even if my prediction of 3-1 is correct, I don't think it's. The United game was a 3-1 game. Was it really a 3-1 game? Because we got 2 goals at the end. Like I think it will be one of those affairs, but I just think the only difference at the moment is you guys seem to have found a manager now that wants to actually play football, has an attacking philosophy, which I've said you needed for years. And but yeah, like there's only so much you can do in 5 games, and Arteta's been doing this with us for 4 years. So I'd expect. I think if you stay on this trajectory and you keep him for another year, another 2 years, it could be us going for things at a very high level. Like going for Champions League places, going for the league. If those 115 FFP charges catch up with Man City, who knows? But yeah, I just think the difference is going to be just that little bit extra time and experience that Arteta's had to kind of like.
That's why I was saying next season could be important for Spurs. We get a season behind them.
Yeah. You have to. If you put your football head on, you have to look at Arsenal and think, yeah, they've probably done it right, better than we have. And as like you, I hate saying it. I don't like saying it, but the way you've got your squad together, you've built it right. Where we haven't done it right, we've missed opportunities. We didn't spend well in the transfer market. So, look, it's going to be a tight game. Look, whatever the score, I hope it's a good game. May the best side win, and there's no joke upon about.
That's the irony. You had a better transfer window without Champions League football than, in my opinion, you did when you had Champions League football last season. You've actually had a better window this season, in my opinion. Like, outsider looking in, I would say, like the players you've brought in this season, young, exciting players. Like I think Solomon on a free, we saw what he did at Fulham. He allows you to move Son up front, which you started to do in recent games. Van der Ven, Romero's needed a good partner for ages. He's been hung out to dry with these Dyers, Davis is okay, but Sanchez not good. And then obviously Udogie coming back. You can see, there's a good side bubbling there. Like, but yeah, it's just bringing it together. And I think what Arsenal needed and why it was 5th and not 4th was because there was hard lessons that they had to learn, and they had to kind of get used to kind of playing together. And I think that's where Spurs are at now. Like just that time, continuity, these players playing together, understanding the manager's methods more. And I think like January, I think you've got to go out and get a centre back. You can't run the risk of that Romero or Van der Ven getting injured, because I think that's where the main drop off is. Bentancur comes back as well. You've got good depth in midfield. You've got Højbjerg there as well, and you've got great depth on your wings. And the beauty of Brennan Johnson, Son, Richarlison is all 3 of them can play across the line,
interchangeable,
and they can play. So you've got good depth in that striker position. So dare I say it? Like you lot could be onto something here.
Definitely are. I mean, Monday morning you got to be crying and we'd be cheering. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
I still think it's a bit soon, but yeah, like you've gone about. I think you finally started to the pennies kind of dropped there. I think what you were doing was just looking at CVs of managers. What have they won? He'll do. Whereas like now you've actually looked at what sort of philosophy, what sort of style of play does this guy have? How does this guy cultivate players? Like what can he do with young players? Like that's the approach you've looked at with Ange, and that's why like I have that kind of respect, because the Celtic side of me is like seeing what he's done, and it makes for an interesting life. Like I said, like my childhood, you know, without question, Arsenal were just the best. Chelsea have come along. They've won things, and really, it should be Arsenal and Tottenham competing because of the history that we have with each other. You know, like so. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, 100%. Right, guys, I'm going to try and wrap this up because I need to put my son to bed. It's his bedtime, which is what I do. I have a time limit. Tony saying, great show. Bobby and Gunnar, Dermot and Philip. I've never laughed so much, but Spuds to win League Cup or FA Cup.
Is that a statement of fact?
No, I think that's what Dermot was talking about winning the league and possibly winning the FA Cup.
Look, the FA Cup starts. We're going to be singing Spurs are on the way to Wembley because Zanj needs a gun all trembling.
DWTT say, I think it's time for the lad on the top right. That's you, Dermot, unfortunately, mate. To get some sleep. He looks old and tired. Sounds delirious. Time for that to change.
Right, DWTT, right? Go away and go and cry to your mammy, right? Just go away and cry and just sit there and just think about what you've just said. Go and sit in the naughty step for 5 minutes, right? Think about what you've just said. And then when you're ready to apologise, when you admit Tottenham are a bigger side and a better side than Arsenal, then come back to us. But onto them. It's bedtime for you. Go and put on CBBC.
I don't think you'll be coming back, bro. I'll be honest,
and go and watch some Teletubbies. We'll see you on Monday.
Tony, you went for 4-0 to the Arsenal for your prediction. Moss went for 3-1. I have written down the predictions. Don't worry, I always do. I think Kai Havertz is a Peter Crouch without the goals and crazy heights, says Michael. Okay, and there's some weird stuff being said in the chat. Geeks, big up to Geeks, is in the house as well. Dyer is class in form and one of the best centre backs in the country. Like Maguire, that is why Southgate fixed them. Geeks, what are you trying to do to me, mate? Seriously, Tottenham have
Dyer's a brilliant defender. He should be at Arsenal.
Oh, jeez. Seriously, Tottenham have components for a very good team. 100% they do, Geeks. They are enjoying their football. The biggest weakness for Tottenham is in the boardroom. Yeah. Okay. Let's try and get through some of these. Big up to King from Lewis Guna Cavalier.
Lewis, what's going on, bro?
Geeks has gone for a 2-1 to the Arsenal, and Takiya's gone for 2-2. So I'm going to quickly write those down before we wrap up the show. So Geeks
can I just very quickly, DWTT, there was nothing meant for it. It's just all a bit of banter, man. So
yeah, honestly, DWTT, trust me, he gives it and takes it. Yeah. Tequila has gone for 2-2. Right, not going anywhere, mate. Bobby Connor King, love me, I think. DWTD, we do love you, so don't worry. And you'll see more of Dermot because Dermot and me work together now on FTSN and THFC until I die. So we'll be doing loads of stuff together anyway. So you'll see plenty of Dermot. So you two can have a nice little chat in future shows as well.
Philip will be coming on as my bodyguard and as my wingman.
Right, we're going to start with Philip first. So Philip, thank you ever so much for coming on. Where can people find you?
You find me with that. See him upstairs on THFC till I die.
That loony.
Where's everybody gone? Unfortunately, I've got a family commitment on Sunday, so would you believe it? I won't even get to see the match.
Nice.
Yeah, imagine that. My family are so disrespectful. They're going to arrange a lunch at 2:00 on the Sunday afternoon. So anyway. Dermot will be keeping me posted by on the phone, I'm sure. So it'll be. I hope it's not like the Newcastle game when we lost 5-1 when I met my son-in-law. But anyway, so yeah.
In which case, you'll be switching your phone off. Yeah.
Well, the last one nearly ended up in the dustbin at the back of the restaurant. So.
He'll be saying to them when the waiter says to him, "What do you want for your dinner, Philip?" Because I just have a glass of water, please.
Water, please. Yeah.
But thank you, Philip, for coming on.
It's been a pleasure, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure. And
sorry,
I know we're opponents, but we're all football fans at the end of the day. So
exactly, yeah. Sorry, I took you off screen there. Right, Gunnar King. Where can people find you, my friend?
Gunnar King 14 on Twitter or X. I keep. That thing, that one, yeah.
X.
TikTok as well. Gunnar King 14, the same handle. here on the Armory as well. 2 shows in a day. We should do another show, make it a hat trick. A few other channels on YouTube. The Lou Laguna's channel, I've been jumping on a bit. I jump on FTV a bit. So, but yeah, mainly Gunner King 14 on X and TikTok, as well as the Armory here.
Excellent stuff. Dermot. Yeah. The wonderful Dermot. Where can they find you, my friend?
Yeah, well, you can find me with the other fella down below on THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham, past, present, and an exciting future. And a North London win on Sunday as well, folks. So don't worry. Spurs will make your day. Yeah, if you like what me and Philip have to say, please come over, like and subscribe. We're also on Facebook. We're on THFC To Die on Facebook. We're on X or Twitter. I agree with Gunner King 40. I don't know what you call it now. On Moyles James 10, and we're also on Twitch as well. But yeah, thank you guys for having us on. It's been a blast. And I will say as well, Philip, look, we're all football fans at the end of the day. Banter aside, it's been lovely being on here. I've enjoyed it immensely. It's been good fun. And Gunner King, I know we're going to get you on, but we'll have to get you on the channel sometime as well for the podcast or something like that, a debate or something. It's been an absolute honor meeting you, sir. You've good laugh, good crack, and Bobby as well. It's always good crack with you, Bobby. But again, for me and Philip, both of us, thank you so much for inviting us.
Likewise. It's been a good show,
great show, lads. Thanks, and enjoy the game on Sunday. It's going to be an interesting watch along, I have to be honest. I do a lot of watch alongs with Colm, who's a United fan. And that can be interesting sometimes, but I've never done an Arsenal Tottenham watch along with a Tottenham fan.
And it's been broadcast on both channels, on our channel as well.
It's going to be a nightmare in the chat.
I'll say one thing. I've never had an Arsenal intro on my channel before. And I never want it again.
To be fair, when it's the other way round, the Tottenham intro will be going out on the Armory, so we'll only be fair. But yeah, I did get some pleasure out of that. To be fair, when I was doing that, I was like, I know where this is going.
I sent Philip a WhatsApp and I said, I don't really feel very well.
You probably lost the whole
I can see me having about 25 bathroom breaks on Sunday. I think I've got a bladder problem. We had to open down the loo that I can see what the score is.
That'd be Bobby. Bobby be going away shouting out the window as we're winning. So, there you go.
Guys, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you ever so much for being in the chat box. The chat box being mental. Guys, me and Dermot will be back on Sunday. As for me, I will be back tomorrow for the Arsenal preview with the Armory family. So that will tune in for that one as well. Trying to think what else I'm doing. I'm also joining Colm on Saturday night to do Burnley versus Man United. So plenty still coming up. Dermot, what have you got coming up?
Tomorrow we've got Newsbeat at 4, which we do every day between 4 and 5, and we've got the Cockerel Clock podcast tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Me and Philip will be looking ahead to the North London derby, giving us our unbiased view of the game. As we might even get you on for that, Gunner King, if you want to come on to the podcast tomorrow night. Send me the link through Bobby, and we invite you on. You too, Bobby, if you want to come on. Invite you, do the pleasure. And then, of course, we've got what we're doing Saturday, Philip. We're doing around the grounds. Then we're doing the rugby watch along.
We're doing the Ireland versus South Africa rugby game as well.
And then on Sunday, I'm on some Arsenal.
There's a match on Sunday, isn't there?
I'm on some dodgy Del Boy channel with Boise and Rodney and Uncle Albert. Marlene somewhere in the kitchen with Raquel. And we're going to be watching some game on the dodgy television.
The funny thing is, I've actually got Del Boy right behind me.
Trigger is somewhere sticking that dodgy satellite dish that they got at the bottom of Heathrow Airport. So if you see us go off there for any reason, a 747 has gone into Bobby's house, and Bobby's saying, "Why are you crying?"
The funny thing is, I'm under the flight path of Birmingham Airport.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What part of Birmingham are you in, Bobby?
Oh, well, I'm just in Wolverhampton, but the
Oh,
planes
well,
go
yeah. No, I
up
lived
and-
in Birmingham for 10 years. That's why I just
Yeah,
heard
so
of
we're not
Birmingham
far from
Airport,
Birmingham
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
So we always get the planes.
Oh, yeah,
You can
yeah.
hear their engine starting to drop just above our house. It's like, uh-oh.
There we go.
But now I'm going to get some pleasure because you've tried to wind me up at the end, and guess what the outro is? It's an Arsenal outro. I'm going to have pleasure now. I'm going to enjoy this, guys. Take care. See you
Take care,
later.
lads.
Speak
Yeah.
to you all later.